Hello and welcome back to Big Red Journeys. I am your host, Big Red, and on today's journey, we are back at the Bowers Museum in sunny Santa Ana, California, as we explore the exhibit Spirits and Headhunters, Art of the Pacific Islands, a collection of art from the various tribes, indigenous people from the area we commonly call Oceania. So please, if you care to join me on this journey, let's go. Entering onto the second leg of our journey for today, Spirits and Headhunters, Art of the Pacific Islands. This exhibit focuses on the area most commonly called Oceania, the area in the South Pacific on the border of Australia and New Zealand, well actually including New Zealand. You can see here Micronesia, Melanesia, Polynesia, and the thousands of islands that make up these areas. From New Zealand, we have some Maori artifacts, including a club and a fighting club, possibly used in a haka or two. Here's an early necklace from the 19th century, and that's not whalebone or whale teeth. That's actually a walrus tusk. An example of trade from some of the whalers that would go to the Arctic and bring back some items for the natives to trade with. An actual human tooth necklace from the Fiji Islands, made with over 203 human incisors and canines from what they believe could have been 60 to 100 individuals. Were they prisoners of war? Captured? Killed in battle? Who knows? And an interesting piece of utensilware, a cannibal fork from the Fiji Islands, made out of wood. This fork was used solely by the chiefs, who were forbidden to touch any sort of food with their hands, including human flesh, during rituals. A formidable foe would be wearing this interesting suit of armor, a helmet made from a porcupine fish, a breastplate, and some interesting swords. As you can see, wooden swords, but with shark teeth up and down the blade, and a spearhead in the same fashion. From Micronesia, if you ever needed to borrow $1 for a can of Coke, this is what you're looking at. Actual stone currency. A navigational chart. Interesting how it's done with the sticks and shells, probably correlating to some sort of constellation or possibly island chain. A spearhead with shark teeth. And women's knives. And for fishing purposes, a tackle box and fish hook. From the New Island province of Papua New Guinea, here is a sculpture made out of wood of a evil fish spirit who is said to be swimming alone in the sea and would attack fishermen. In the island of Vanuatu, pigs are a high status symbol, and this ceremonial club was actually used in the killing of pigs for ritual rites. From the area of Melanesia, These skulls are called over model skulls, actual human skulls that were then had mud or wood or shells added for decorative purposes. A finger bone cutter used by family members of those who were perished. A common practice was actually in mourning is for them to cut the top finger part above the first knuckle in part of the mourning process. And here's a necklace made with finger bones. A ritual magic bag made of various fibers, animal bones, and possibly even human bones. These magic bags were carried by powerful men, usually shamans, healers, sorcerers, and even chiefs. In them would have talismans, stones, bits of bark or cloth, currency, some war shields from various islands. You can see some of the different designs and artwork, each one representing a certain tribe, certain region, animals, protective spirits to protect those in times of war and battle, including some war clubs and some ceremonial. Shaped in the head of a stylized bird, you can see how they take inspiration from the animals and nature around them. An interesting club wall. Kind of reminds me of the throne from Game of Thrones. Very interesting. Ceremonial bone daggers made out of cassowary bones. Pretty cool. Giant ancestor poles, traveling well over 20 feet high, made out of wood and natural fibers from the islands of Melanesia. A giant ring like this, made out of shells, was used traditionally to buy yourself a bride. Or if a bride wasn't wanted, you could buy yourself a few pigs. Various forms of currency, including this large roll of feathers from Melanesia. Some earrings and shells. Not only decorative and beautiful, but valuable as real currency. Thankful we have debit cards now. This giant feather bag, worn by young men who haven't reached that ripe old age to be considered a tribal elder. This was a symbol of their youth and proudness and availability as well. Here we have headdresses and pieces for ceremonial and ritual purposes from various island groups. Shaped after those of nature, including some birds, animals, fish, and even spirits. A ceremonial drum and drumsticks used in various rituals, including possibly even this one, the fire dance. Here you can see some of the natives in garb very similar to those hanging here, dancing and singing around the fire. Male and female headdresses worn in the East New Britain province of Papua New Guinea, and various masks created out of natural fibers, feathers, shells, leather, mud, and really any of the resources available found on these islands. A giant feast bowl of Papua New Guinea, where entire clans or tribes would come and share their food in a giant ceremonial dish such as this. Well, that is going to do it for today's journey here at the Bowers Museum. It was a great exhibit. We had a great time. I hope you did as well too. If you haven't done so already, please give this video a big thumbs up, hit the subscription button, and then take your journey to the next level by hitting the notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever a new video comes across on the channel. And feel free to follow me on Instagram at Big Red Journeys. From me to you, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.